Friends, I am sure you will be ready to receive more lessons. I believe most of you would have heaved a sigh of relief in the last class after knowing that we have completed all the letters of the Tamil alphabet. Now I am going to continue with some more letters. Before that, I would like to give you a small introduction. This introduction is to pave way for understanding the presence of certain sounds in Tamil. When two cultures come in contact, there has to be, and it is bound to be, a sort of exchange, if not a mutual exchange. One has an impact on the other, or mutually they are affected. The cultural specifics apart, common things can be shared and then taken from one culture to another. It is more so in the case of languages. When two languages come into contact, it is bound to be a sort of clashing in the beginning and fusing later on. In the sense, the languages carry their individual marks. They have their own diction, they have their own grammar, they have their own syntax. When they are thrown together, naturally a question of give and take has to take place. In that case, what happens? Which language borrows from the other? Let us not go into the weaker or the stronger cases, but generally what happens is, to adapt a certain things from the other language, another language has to make some adjustments. Let me confine myself to the language study. Generally, a language, when it accepts the other language, it has to make certain modifications or adjustments. Let me give you an example. When something is taken from another culture or another language, we try to interpret them or express them in our own way. We try to modify our structure so as to suit the new concept, the new word. When we fail, we just accept it as it is and then adjust our system to express it. Let me give you some examples from English. This is Kuli, this is Yoga, this is Buddha and Dharma. These are the terms we find in English writing. Some of the English writers, when speaking of the Indian culture or Indian concepts, have to make use of these terms. In the absence of equivalence in their language, naturally they accept these things. These are the words which occur in Indian languages and they are pregnant with a particular meaning. So, naturally you have to find out either an equivalent in the other language or accept it as it is with its accent. When you accept it with its accent, in transcribing you have to make use of the alphabet you have. So, naturally this is an attempt and a most successful attempt of the English language to adopt these Indian terms. Let us not bother from which of the Indian languages it has been taken from. This Kuli, Yoga, Buddha and Dharma. There are dozens of words like this. Here we see the term is an Indian, the concept or the import of that word is Indian, purely Indian, but conveyed in an English writing with the help of the Roman script. So, this is an adjustment of the borrowing with one's own available material. So, this sort of thing happens whenever two languages come into contact or two cultures come into contact. We shift to the Indian scene. As you are aware, India is a land of so many languages with so many different hues of an Indian culture. Indian culture is a big cloth in which all the threads of various hues have been used. Each one is important and indispensable, but together they make a different impact. They present a beautiful texture. So, when two languages come into contact, we have to see what happens. Sanskrit and Tamil are the two most ancient Indian languages. There was a time when Sanskrit was accepted and acknowledged as the language of the intelligentsia. So, in the Middle Ages, the contact between these two became closer. Then each language of course had been benefited by the presence of the other, and now we are discussing only Tamil. So, I will take up this part of it. Tamil also had borrowed Sanskrit words. As I put you the difficulty or the process of doing that, there has to be some process while borrowing from another language. One is modification and the other is adaptation. Modification means to modify or make changes in your own term, and adoption is to accept the term as it is. When the question of writing comes up, naturally one has to make an adjustment. When adjustment is not possible, by this I mean when you are not able to satisfy fully to the requirement needed, then you have to go in for an improvisation. This is an important thing which you have to remember. Improvisation. Let me give you an example from English. Zahir Khan is a name which we come across quite often, particularly in the field of cricket. This is a West Arabian or Mid-European term, Zahir Khan. Now, Za is not there in English. That particular pronunciation is not there in English. When it had to be used, when it had to be employed in their writing, they resorted to making use of the available letters. So, they used Z and A and then tried to explain Zahir Khan. So, this is improvisation. That is, you accept something from outside and then you make an adjustment to accommodate it, and also if need be make use of the letters you have to accommodate that sound. That is, there is a letter and a letter carries a sound. To accommodate a foreign sound, you adjust your letters so that that particular sound can be reproduced with the help of this letter. So, that is another process of improvisation. Tamil language has done that beautifully well. The Sanskrit terms which were necessary to be taken up were accepted, and to reproduce them, certain improvisation had to be made. And now we are going to see the remaining 5 letters of that erstwhile script called Grantha script. A new type of writing was developed in Tamil Nadu in the Middle Ages to reproduce the Sanskrit works. Now it has been lost. Only 5 letters are left, which are continued to be learnt, practiced and used. One is Ja, the other is Sha, third is Sa, fourth is Ha, and the last Sha. This is Ja, this is Sha, this is Sa, this is Ha, and this is Sha, as you have in Lakshmi or Lakshya. I have written them in Roman script, that is to insist upon the sound, the pronunciation. This is Ja, Sha, Sa, Ha and Sha. All these are Sanskrit sounds and phones. When they were to be used in Tamil, they made use of their own script, improvised a new form and accommodated these sounds. Let us be clear about a letter and a sound. I take up Ja. Do you remember this letter? Pure and simple Tamil letter. One of the vowels. I hope you can recollect. This is I. This is being written like this. You start with a circle, go, come down, go up, take a round and then come this way and again come down and go up. This is I. Now, to accommodate this sound, they took up this, up to this they retained, and instead of going this way, they took it up, brought down and ended it with a circle. See, I, the first portion or the upper portion has been retained and the second portion has been modified to accommodate this. This is Ja. Starts with a small circle and ends with it. This Ja, this representation, this symbol or this letter is nothing but a modification of the Tamil letter I. This was not brought from outside. This was improvised in order to accommodate that sound. So, this is Ja. Now, in letter, this is nothing but a modification of the Tamil letter. It assumes the Tamil character naturally. So, this is Ja, and what is this? A consonant with a dot above, J. And when it takes up vowel, what happens? With A, it becomes Ja. With O, it becomes jaw. With E, it is G. Now the question arises where to put the E marker. It does not need any new place. So as we did with the other Tamil letters, we put it here, G. And naturally, the longer version G will be like that. Let us see once again. To accommodate the sound ja, the Tamil letter I was slightly modified and then accepted as a Tamil letter, and it underwent all changes while taking vowels. Ij, jaw, ji, ji. Ij plus a, ja. Ij plus a, jaw. Ij plus e, ji. Ij plus e, ji. So for all practical purposes, this is nothing but a Tamil letter accepting all the vowels and their markers. See, for instance, this is George, this is Ij. Now I have to write George in Tamil. What will I do? I will take this jaw, this is here, and George. I have reproduced the sounds as far as possible correctly and accommodating the Tamil letters. Suppose there is a state called Georgia. How will I write in Tamil? This is Ja, R, G, ja. That is, I have reproduced the sound from a different tongue with the help of the letters I have with me. So this was the purpose of improvising letters in Tamil with the help of the available script in order to accommodate the Sanskrit sounds. We shall continue with ja, 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 ji, ji. Now Ij plus u. As we found it difficult while discussing Tamil letters, this u gave us a problem. We were struggling to find out where to accommodate that symbol, marker. So also here you have to make an accommodation. So what they did was put a horizontal letter and circled it. This is Ju. You can't pronounce it as jaw because jaw has a different shape, and for oo, you have to retain it. What do? You just extend it and bend. So, this is Ju. So, now we have been discussing a phase in the Tamil language where the Sanskrit impact was felt and words and sounds had to be accommodated in the Tamil language. As such, the Tamil language improvised itself with the available material and accommodated the Sanskrit sounds. Rest in the next class. Thank you.